Hey, hopefully I'm back. Hopefully the microphone's still working. Hopefully I've improved the video settings. I've never used this sort of screen recording software before, so I don't really know what I'm at with it, but I think I've found the right settings. Once again, I thought I would just load up a game against the AI, and I'm just going to show you a really basic build. You can steal. I'll play Zerg this time. Yeah, and I'll try as much as possible to just point out the standard stuff as we go. So, again, I've hotkeyed the hatchery to number 4, which is pretty normal. Again, one of the very first things I'm going to do is build some supply with the Zerg. That comes from building overlords. So I need to get an overlord up as soon as I can. Yeah, you'll notice the overlord I started with, I've just sent across the map. The reason for that is in the very early parts of the game, it's unlikely that your opponent has anything that shoots up. So that overlord can get into the opponent's base and can check what they're doing, get a bit of free information. Now, as Zerg, a lot of buildings cost less. Hatchery only costs 300 compared to 400 for a command center or a nexus. So for that reason, really common for Zerg to open up with hatchery first. Another sort of difference with Zerg is that all of your units come from the hatchery. So having additional hatcheries is a very, very useful thing indeed. This is going to be a very cheesy build. I am going to throw down gas. I'm going to throw down a spawning pool. And I'm just going to build roughly 1 million speedlings and hope for the best to overwhelm my opponent early on with just more lings than is conceivable. So the second hatch, I'll add that to hotkey number 4, shift and 4 adds to that hotkey. Get them mining some gas. As soon as the spawning pool is finished, I will not only be able to build lings, I'll be able to build queens of these hatcheries. Very important to build queens. They perform several really, really useful functions. Not least of which is just defense. Queens are pretty tough. They deal out a reasonable amount of damage. Right, so what nonsense am I talking now? So queens building at each hatch. Now that I have the 100 minerals required, the 100 gas required to research metabolic boost, I'm going to do that straight away. I'm also going to transfer these workers down there. So, okay. Oh, I might have left that a bit too late. Have done. Get stuff building before he dies. Yeah, so I might cock that up fairly royally. Not to worry. Yeah, one of the other things queens can do, this kind of spit onto a hatchery causes it to produce more larvae, and it's worth remembering that since all of your stuff comes from the hatchery, the more larvae you have coming out of there, the better. So I'm going to open up a nice supply buffer here. Plenty of overlords in production. As soon as those larvae pop out, it's time to spit on the hatch again. Go ahead there, Queenie. And you can see that, look, my opponent has tried to expo down here. He's going to lose that straight away. And from here on, I'm just going to build lings. Uh-oh, that's quite a number of roaches, and I'm in trouble with that. Or am I?
Our forces are under attack.
So I'm just going to try and run past everything he's got with all but a handful of units. Sacrifice those 3 to slow down his stuff here.
Our forces are under attack.
Make sure my queens are still spitting. Because I'm in that gold base, I've just got so much money, I can't even spend anything. This guy's getting us over. He's lost so many workers that I can just afford to tread. I can tread with this guy all day long. He cannot afford to keep this up, but I can. I can easily afford to replace all of this. You can afford to replace none of it, so that's it. Couldn't be easier, could it? Put an A-click for the win as Zerg. No point trying to kill that. No value in it. Let's get all of my lings up into the men here to maximise the damage. And there's the GG. Yeah, so I kind of got carried away with killing stuff and forgot to talk you through the important things that were going on. Queens, really useful thing to do is, if I just highlight both of them and hotkey them, you can actually spit on the hatcheries using the mini-map down here on the bottom left, so 3 and V, whoops, what have I clicked there? 3V, and then I'll just click on the hatch and the nearest queen will do the spitting. The other really useful thing that queens can do is lay these creatures. It is worth noting that it's common to have a couple of queens at each hatchery, but in the early game certainly at least 1 per hatchery is the sensible choice. Alright, Zerg Rush, overwhelming ling numbers for the win. Hopefully that was useful. Next up, Protoss. GG.